With a surprise live performance, Yandy Smith just took the internet by storm, pointing fingers, sobbing, and screaming. Erika Mana was accused of the ultimate betrayal by her, sleeping with Mendeecees, her partner. Fan reaction was instantaneous as she yelled, "Erika slept with my man." Thousands of comments were posted in a matter of seconds. People's hearts fell, jaws dropped to the ground. The Mendeecees, who had been sitting next to her in silence, then got up and left. The screen glitched Nidalov. When Yandy screamed louder, the internet went crazy. Did she tell the truth? Was this just another hip-hop and love prank? Or had one of reality TV's most talked about couples finally blown up in front of millions of viewers? From then, things only get worse. According to insiders, the live event was unplanned. There was no script. It was real. The events unfolded in real time and included anger, treachery, and sadness. Names were dropped, receipts were dragged, and Yandy vowed she would never forgive either of them. Fans are split, perplexed, and surprised. According to some, Yandy is now expressing her truth. Others think she's going through a breakdown. One thing is certain though, this is the messiest hip-hop and love drama to date, and it's only getting started. Yandy's live performance that evening was unexpected. There was no schedule, no teasers were released, no hints of a breakdown in the narrative. Nothing. A sudden ping, there she was, naked face, swollen eyes, and a quivering voice. Fans realized right away that something was wrong. She wasn't her polished self as usual. Raw action radiated across the screen without any gloss or filters, and then she dropped the bomb. She took a trembling breath, stared straight into the camera, and spoke the words that would stun the internet. "My man had an affair with Erika." The live conversation blew up. Hearts began to come in. The screen was overflowing with emojis, but nobody knew what to enter. Did she mean it? Erika? Was that what she was saying? That line had been breached by Mina. The Erika who had recently shared a few episodes with her Yandy didn't hold off till others responded. She continued, she raised her voice, trembling with hurt, rage, and she claimed that this unexplainable vibe was the beginning. She didn't like the jokes that were made and the looks that were exchanged. She claimed that in order to avoid coming across as insecure, she dismissed it. She wiped her nose and repeated, "I'm not the jealous type. However, I had a gut feeling that this wasn't right." Within minutes, fans were spreading the live, tagging gossip blogs and screen recording. She didn't even mention Mendeecees before the video became viral. He was standing close next to her, looking down, arms crossed, and his face expressionless. Yandy gave him a quick glance before turning back to the camera. "Will you just sit there and pretend it's not true?" One night, just one lousy night. But that night shattered everything. Fans watching were in utter disbelief. No one had seen this coming. Not from them. Not like this. He didn't answer. She shook her head and let out a painful laugh. Then came the part that had everyone gasping. Yandy claimed she found out after checking his communications. She said she spotted deleted texts that had been stored up to this cloud. And there, in between old images and files, were amorous messages from Erika. She stated, "You taste better than I remember." "What the hell am I expected to do with that?" Yandy screamed. Her voice cracked as she slapped her hand against the couch. Mendeecees finally shifted in his seat, but still didn't speak. The silence from him was almost louder than Yandy's accusations. People in the comments were demanding he say something. Others were begging her to lob off. But Yandy was far from done. She explained how things had been weird ever since that group trip the one had filmed but never aired. Apparently, the producer scrapped the tape when too much pandemonium broke out. Yandy claimed that was the trip where everything changed. She was being very touchy with him. Yandy recalled, "I thought she was just being friendly, but now I know." She said she remembered one night in particular when she went to bed early with a headache. Mendeecees had stayed behind with the rest of the cast, and that's when it happened, she whispered. Fans were frozen. The idea that Erika and Mendeecees had done something behind her back while filming a reality show was already scandalous, but the way she told it made it feel all too real. Mendeecees finally spoke. "Barely. I told you already. I don't even remember half of that night," he muttered, still not facing the camera. Yandy turned sharply toward him. "How convenient," she snapped. "You don't remember, but she does. She remembers everything, even the position y'all were in." Mendeecees rubbed his forehead, clearly uncomfortable. The comments went wild again. Fans started tagging Erika, demanding a response. Yandy, through tears, said she felt humiliated. "I defended you. I defended both of y'all. People been telling me for months, and I said, nah, not Erika. She's not like that. She's married. She had to cope with her own problem. But guess what? I was wrong." Suddenly, Yandy held up her phone trying to pull up screenshots. She fumbled, swiped, then dropped it on the floor. She screamed in frustration. Mendeecees got up slightly as if to help, but she shoved his hand away. "Don't touch me," she said through gritted teeth. And then it happened. The moment that sealed the internet's obsession with this meltdown. Mendeecees stood up, looked at her, then at the camera, and without saying a single word, walked off screen. The door closed behind him with a soft but final thud. Yandy sat there stunned, her mouth slightly open, her hands shaking. "Wow," she whispered. "That's it? Then? You simply have to leave," as if nothing had been done. The live chat went insane. Thousands of viewers were now watching, some begging her to end the live, others urging her to keep going. And she did. Yandy leaned back, took a deep breath, and said, "I gave this man everything. When he was imprisoned, I supported him. I reared his children, with Erica Mina." Her voice trembled again. "I fought for our family, and this is how he repays me." She buried her face for a while, then looked back up, her expression tougher now. "No, you'll deserve to know who these people really are." Her entire attitude changed when her phone buzzed and she saw a text. "Oh, now she wants to text me," Yandy hissed. "Too late for that. The world's going to hear it now." She reached down and picked up her phone once more, determined this time, and apologized, saying, "Girl, you don't trip and fall into somebody else's man. You made a choice. Fans were consuming every moment of it, and it was messy, raw, and I let you in my house. Erica, you played with my kids, you smiled in my face, and all the while, you were plotting behind my back." She shook her head, wiping her tears. "I should have known. I should have known the minute she started calling him bro all the time. Like we don't know what that fake sister act really means." Second, she said she didn't want to believe it. That for weeks she had been making excuses, blaming herself, thinking maybe she wasn't loving enough, or maybe she was too busy with work. But now that she knew the truth, it was killing her. Mendeecees was leaving, not just the room, but the house. And Yandy paused, listening, then laughed bitterly. He was running now. He couldn't face the truth as usual. She sat in silence for a few seconds before declaring, "I'm not doing this for sympathy. This is what I'm doing because I'm sick of defending those who wouldn't if I were on fire, spit on me." As shocking as part 1 of her live was, it was only the beginning. The real chaos was yet to come because just when viewers thought they had heard it all, Yandy dropped another unexpected bomb, one that completely changed the course of the scandal. Yandy sat there staring into the camera, her face frozen in disbelief. And the comments were still coming in, a chaotic mix of shock, support, and outright confusion. But she was no longer reading them. Instead, she was somewhere else in her own thoughts, spiraling deeper into a storm of betrayal. Then, just as the silence started to go on for too long, she whispered something that left everyone stunned. The couple had always presented a united front, even through prison time, custody battles, and all the mess that reality threw at them. But now Yandy was peeling back layers that no one knew existed. She said there were other women, faceless names she had ignored for the sake of family, for the sake of keeping their image intact. "I thought if I just kept quiet, if I loved him enough, he'd stop." But it just got worse. Viewers sat up straighter, jaws dropped, and phones all over the nation began recording again. "And now he's playing with women I really know, people I let into my house." She got up and started pacing. Her hands were moving, her voice was louder, and she was angry. "Erica isn't just any random girl. She was my friend, or at least I thought she was. She used to call me crying about everything, including her divorce and Safari, and I listened to her. Including her divorce and Safari, and I listened to her. I consoled her, but as I was doing that, she was out there plotting how to stab me in the back." She paused, breathing heavily. "No, you don't return from that," when a notification appeared on the screen. It was from Erica. She had gone live to fans going into full frenzy mode, and now it was war. Yandy scoffed, thinking, "Oh, now she got something to say. Let me guess. She's going to play victim. Talk about how she didn't mean for it to happen. How it was a vulnerable moment. Please." Her voice cracked again as she added, Her voice cracked again as she added, "I thought we were sisters." What made everything worse was the fact that this wasn't just affecting her. It was affecting the kids. Yandy said her oldest had overheard an argument between her and Mendeecees the night before and asked if they were getting a divorce. "How can you explain this to your kids? How do you tell them that the man you taught them to look up to and admire is incapable of even showing respect for the woman who supported him through everything?" she asked the camera. Her voice broke into sobs for a moment, but she quickly wiped her face, trying to regain composure. She said that people in their inner circle had been warning her for months. That one of her friends had even tried to tell her about a party where Erica and Mendeecees were getting too close. But she didn't want to believe it. "I cut people off for bringing me the truth," she admitted. "I thought they were being messy. Turns out they were trying to save me." The chat filled with fans offering support, saying things like, "You deserve better and you're stronger than this." However, Yandy seldom paid attention to the screen anymore, since she was too heartbroken and far gone to see anything but her own suffering. Then, in a sudden turn of events, she picked up her phone once again and played a voice memo. You could hear a woman's voice on the not-so-clear audio, Erica's laughing voice saying something like, "What happens in Miami stays in Miami." Yandy turned to the camera and added, "You hear that?" She was referring to the same weekend that they said nothing occurred. But she was unaware that he had preserved the voicemail. He neglected to remove it when she sent it to him. In justice, the fans were blown away. Drama was no longer the only thing involved. The gathering of evidence was becoming a full-fledged endeavor. Commenters began accusing Yandy of cheating and pleading with him to provide additional receipts. She had not finished, not even close. She disclosed that Mendeecees had confessed to more than just the Erica incident after they had a confrontation. There were others, he claimed. "I could tell by the expression in his eyes that it's been more than I ever thought, even if he didn't mention names." "How do you sleep next to someone for years and not know who they really are?" she asked after pausing. The live had been running for about half an hour, but nobody was clicking off. This was more than just rumors now. Real-time emotional destruction was taking place. Now worn out, she sat down again, her voice lower, but still full of "I stood up for him in order to defend a man who wouldn't even shield me from betrayal. I battled courts, attorneys, bloggers, and trolls. And he allowed Erica to become that close to him, the same woman who has treated every man she has dated disrespectfully. I am unable to." Her eyes were hazy as she shook her head once more. "I am no longer able to do this." Now the live chat began inquiring about the whereabouts of persons he saw. There were rumors that he had drove to Arafa's house. According to others, he was most likely hiding out with his lads while attempting to come up with a story. When Yandy noticed the comments, she got cold and said, "He's gone." Just like that. Not a word. Not a sorry. Nothing. "And don't think this is over, Erica. Girl, I have the truth on my side this time. So, don't think you're going to play the I'm broken card again." However, Yandy's phone buzzed once more as she was ready to cease the live stream. Her entire expression shifted as she looked down. Her gaze expanded. She opened her mouth a little, whispering, "Oh, no, no, she didn't." She said. She then rotated the screen to face the camera and displayed Erica's dim. The live stream exploded as it said, "I told you to keep your man in check. Not my fault he wanted something real." People were incredulous. The disdain, the cuts. It was anarchy. "Right now," Yandy said, her voice shaking. "You believe this to be a joke. You think this is funny," she yelled. She threw the phone across the room barely and missed a lamp. Even though the crash made her flinch, she didn't care. "You're sick," she said in a low, dangerous voice. "And trust me, this ain't over. You want the spotlight? You got it." She got back up and started pacing again. The room was electric with anger and heartbreak, and everyone was live tweeting every word, screen recording every tear, and analyzing every pause. This was now the biggest scandal in hip-hop history. Yandy finally took a deep breath, looked straight into the lens, and said, "I need y'all to understand something." As it was all unfolding in real time, with receipts, anger, and genuine emotion. "Cloud isn't the point here. It's not about views here. Respect is at issue here. And I lost all of mine trying to protect a man who ain't never been loyal to me." Her voice fell to a whisper once more, but not anymore. At that moment, Yandy froze, her face tensed, her lips pressed tightly together, and she slowly turned her head towards the sound. If that's him, he better be ready to explain everything because now the whole world is watching, she said, in a quiet but firm voice. The camera didn't leave her. Then the screen went black for a moment and the fans waited and the comment paused. And then the love resumed just in time for the next shocking moment that no one was prepared for. The camera moved slightly, showing Yandy approaching the front door with her shoulders squared and her posture tense as if she was preparing for battle. The keys jingled again, and then the knob turned slowly. And when the door opened, it was Mendeecees. His eyes instantly locked on the camera, still streaming live. And for a moment, there was hesitation in his step, as if he wasn't sure whether he should run or face the impending danger. But Yandy wasn't going to give him a choice. "Don't say a word. Not a single word. The entire internet knows what you did. And if you think you're going to walk in here and act like it's business as usual, you've lost your damn mind." Yandy began. "Please, we need to talk." He looked exhausted, drained, like a man who had been carrying a lie for too long and finally felt its weight breaking him. Not in this manner. Not while everyone is looking. Yandy attempted to approach her, but he simply laughed loudly and bitterly, saying, "Oh, now you care about who's watching. You should have thought about that before you disrespected me in front of the whole damn world." "No. You're going to talk right here," she said, pointing to the camera. "Let the people hear what you have to say. Let them see the man behind the fake love, behind the interviews, behind the smile." Mendeecees glanced at the camera, then back at her, then rubbed his face before nodding. "All right," he said. "All right," he inhaled. "Yeah, I made a mistake. I made a big mistake, but it wasn't what you may expect." She knew we were having issues, so Erica came on to me. Yandy crossed her arms tightly and rolled her eyes, saying, "Don't play the victim." She took advantage of that. "You've grown up. You had the option to leave." Men gave a hesitant nod. "You're correct. I had the option. I didn't because I didn't consider the repercussions, because I was weak and self-centered. I simply had the impression that you were no longer there for me." Yandy's jaw dropped. "Please pardon me." Disbelief trembled in her voice. "I didn't support you. For you, I sacrificed everything. My time, my name, and my calm. And do you believe that I am to fault for this?" Mendeecees didn't answer. The quiet was overwhelming. Yandy took another step back and shook her head. "What hurts the most? You know, even the cheating isn't the problem. The treachery is the problem. That you allowed someone I trusted to into both our and your area. You also allowed her to make fun of me while I was out here protecting you from the world." "Make fun of me?" Mendeecees' voice was little more than a whisper as the Mendeecees gazed down. "I despise myself because I am aware of it." He raised his head again. "I never intended to cause you harm. I believed that I could hide the error so it would never be discovered. But now that it has, I realize I am not worthy of your pardon." Something more profound than melancholy flooded Yandy's eyes once more. Resentment. "You're absolutely correct." She faced the camera once more. "Do you all hear this? This man just acknowledged that he had thrown away our marriage in order to get some attention. Even worse, he still doesn't understand why it hurts." Once more, and with greater desperation, Mendeecees came forward. "I understand. I promise I do. I do believe. Even though I know you don't. I am aware that I broke you. We were broken by me." She resisted his attempt to take her hand. Emotion was thick in the air. Even the live viewers were having trouble keeping up. Not tonight. Not tomorrow. Not anymore." He didn't dispute, he didn't plead. He simply gave a slow nod. "I'll go if that's what you want," he murmured softly. The camera remained on Yandy, observing every movement of her fingers and every flicker in her gaze as he went to the bedroom to gather his belongings, and she fell onto the couch, gasping for air. Subsequently, an unexpected event occurred. Her phone rang, and she looked down to see that it was Erica once more. This time the call was video, and she stared at the screen for a moment. Her jaw clenched before answering against her better judgment. Erica's face filled the screen. Composed life. "You look tired," she said with a smirk, and Yandy's eyes narrowed. "Don't be upset when I clap back. You started this when you put my name out there," Erica said, leaning closer to the camera. Yandy gave a sour laugh. Erica shrugged and said, "You think this is a game? You wrecked the family." Yandy gritted her teeth and said, "Oh, trust me, I blame both of you. But Hugh, you knew exactly what you were doing, and you're going to pay for it." Erica rolled her eyes. "Please grow up. If your man was truly happy at home, nothing I said or did would have mattered. This woman really believes she is untouchable, but I can assure you that she is not." The call ended abruptly as Yandy hummed up and her hands trembled. She turned back to the camera. Mendeecees reappeared in the background with a small duffel bag. His eyes were red, but he did not cry. He stood by the door silent, waiting. Yandy did not look at him as she said, "Don't come back without a damn miracle. I'm done protecting people who wouldn't cross the street to protect me," Mendeecees said, paused and walked away without saying anything more. The door clipped shut behind him and something inside Yandy closed as well. She sat silently for a moment, the weight of everything falling on her, and then she spoke again, her voice flat but firm. Her phone buzzed again, but it was from her lawyer, not from Erica or Mendeecees. So she picked it up and said, "Let's talk options." She ended the live, but the internet was not finished yet. Within minutes, clips were going viral. Memes, reactions, breakdown videos, Team Yandy, Team Mendeecees, Team Erica, it was all over. But behind all the noise, all the opinions, was a woman sitting alone, staring at the walls of the house that felt strange, thinking back to the beginning, to the love letters from prison, to the family photos, the promises, the public loyalty. Suddenly, the following chapter in every media outlet had picked up the story. Every gossip page had reposted the live and every individual with an opinion was typing it in the comments. However, Yandy wasn't reading any of it. Not yet. She moved through the house like a ghost, brushing her teeth, washing her face, and making coffee all on autopilot because the only thing she had energy for was survival. Then the next morning arrived slowly, as if time itself was dragging its feet through the mess that had unfolded the previous evening, and landed on the couch where Yandy had sobered herself to sleep. Yandy's phone rang again, but it wasn't Erica or her lawyer this time. She said, "Baby, what in the hell is going on? I woke up and you all over my damn timeline." Her voice was sharp and loud as usual, and she gave a feeble laugh. "Yeah, that seems to be the theme today." Mama D didn't waste any time. "Listen, I know things get crazy in this business, but I always knew Mendeecees were trouble. I told you that man was slick. Didn't I tell you?" Yandy said. Mama D clicked her tongue. "He's been quiet watching all of this unfold, like the rest of us. He said he was going to call you, but I told him to wait." "Give you space," Yandy nodded slowly. "Thank you, I appreciate that." Yandy sighed. "Now your eyes are wide open. The question is, what are you going to do next?" Yandy didn't have an answer, or perhaps she did. But she wasn't ready to say it aloud. Mama D stopped once more and said, "Just know whatever you need, I got you. And if that hyper Erica thinks she's about to slide into your life and replace you, she got another thing coming." They said their goodbyes, and Yandy ended the call, feeling a strange mixture of comfort and exhaustion. Then her phone lit up again with a message from an unknown number, and she clicked it open to see a video. At first, she didn't recognize what she was looking at, but it was security footage, gray, black, and white footage from a hotel hallway. And there he was, Mendeecees. A few seconds later, Erica followed, pulling the door shut behind her, and she reached for his hand, but he didn't resist. She dropped the phone as if it were burning her, and her hands trembled, and everything inside her screamed betrayal on top of betrayal. Someone had leaked the footage, and they wanted her to see it. But who and why now? Before she could even fully comprehend it, the phone rang again, and it was her lawyer. Yandy's stomach turned. Before the lawyer could say anything, she responded, "I saw the footage." There was a pause, and then her lawyer said, "Yeah, I got it, too. And we need to talk because things are about to get very messy. There's already talk of Erica trying to flip this. Say it was revenge. Paint herself as the victim. But with what you have now, we have leverage." Yandy nodded slowly. "What's the move?" Her lawyer said firmly, "We file today. Divorce proceedings, restraining orders if necessary, and a full media statement to control the narrative before they do. Are you ready for that?" Yandy closed, her eyes as prepared as I will ever be, hung up, and turned back to the phone. Her reflection in the screen looked back at her, eyes puffy, lips chapped, soul tired. But there was something else there now. Fire. Not the kind that burned out of control. The kind that forges steel. She got up and went to her closet, took out a sharp black blazer, styled her hair, and applied makeup, not for vanity, but for armor. Before calling a press contact to arrange an X-Men, was sitting in a hotel room, staring at the same footage while his phone was exploding with calls from his manager, publicist, and even his mother. He appeared broken and defeated, and for the first time in years, the people who had supported him were now doubting everything. Erica, on the other hand, was stepping up her efforts. She posted a mysterious Instagram story, "You can't steal what's already broken," followed by a slow zoom-in of a broken mirror. The comments were flooded in with some praising her bravery, while others dragged her for filth. But Erica didn't care. She was thriving off the chaos. She didn't scream or cry. Instead, she told the story, exactly as it happened from her perspective, without bitterness, just truth, and that made it even more powerful. "I loved him." Yandy's interview was released that evening. It was a straightforward setting with soft lighting and no theatrics, just her voice, raw and honest. The internet fell silent, but she looks directly into the camera, saying, "But love isn't enough when respect is gone, when trust is broken, and when someone shows you who they are, you have to believe them. This isn't just about a scandal, but about dignity, about knowing your worth and walking away even when it hurts like hell." Then it erupted. Celebrities reposted it, fans showered her with support, and Stan with an Andy trended. Even those who had remained neutral were now taking sides, and the tide had officially turned. His castmates began to distance themselves. Producers called emergency meetings. Sponsors withdrew, appearances were cancelled, and he went live, fumbling through apologies and trying to explain, but the damage was done. His words felt hollow, and his once trustworthy face now attracted side glances. The story wasn't over yet, because behind all the headlines and hashtags, behind the fame and the fallout, there was one last twist no one saw coming, one that would change everything all over again. And then just like that, the truth finally surfaced. But at what cost? Yandy's world has been turned upside down. Mendeecees is dealing with the fallout of his own actions. And Erica's reputation is hanging by a thread. Erica tried to prepare for, and he wasn't gloating. She wasn't throwing shots. And she was healing slowly and quietly. The internet isn't going to stop talking about this drama anytime soon. And every post, story, and reaction video is adding fuel to the fire. And just when we think we've seen it all, another twist comes out of nowhere. Fans are still divided, emotions are still running high, and nobody knows what's going to happen next. Is this the end of Yandy and Mendeecees for good? Will Erica finally speak her truth, or has she said too much? We want to know what you think. Do you think Erica betrayed Yandy in that way? We read every single comment. So, please share your thoughts below. If you think this was a betrayal of this magnitude, or if you believe that both Erica and Teen Yandy are at fault, please let us know by hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, and turning on notifications so you never miss an update. Because if you thought this was crazy, trust us, what's coming next will blow your mind even more. We've got exclusive details, behind scenes, leaks, and more shocking moments ready to drop. You don't want to miss what's next. Stay tuned, stay locked in. And as always, thank you for your time. Heat observing. Heat observing. Heat observing.